Hamjambo wenzangu, hamjambo tena, asanteni sana. Wakenya wenzangu, we are gathered here today for an exercise in citizenship, and we do so in fidelity with the tenets of our participatory democracy by representing and presenting the proposed changes to our Constitution, as indeed we seek yours and every single Kenyan's support through a referendum. I believe that this is a proud moment for our democratic system of government, which holds that we are a nation of equal citizens, striving for the betterment of our families, our communities, and our nation as a whole. Fellow Kenyans, democracy is dynamic because people are dynamic. We change as individuals, our families grow, we encounter challenges, some that are unexpected, and others that are devastating, as well as some that create hope. And we embrace opportunities, many of which are transformative and uplifting. The reality of life demands constant change if we are to solve challenges and indeed be able to capitalize on our opportunities. Indeed, I strongly believe that the reason our founding fathers and mothers bequeathed us a democratic system was to offer us this dynamic ability to change with time, and to change as equal citizens of this beautiful land. The nation, fellow Kenyans, is a product of continuous evolution. It is a product made constantly and purposefully. And indeed, the tree of the nation is watered with a constant stream of ideas. Without this, a nation withers and dies. The only thing, indeed, as we all know, that is static and that does not change is that which is dead. And history, the world over, is a graveyard of empires and nations that died because they responded to the changing dynamics affecting them by digging in their heels and resisting change. Fellow Kenyans, as I said when I was delivering my State of the Nation address, a nation, any nation, is a work in progress. And that is why the idea of nation building was on the lips of our founding fathers and the leaders then of a young Kenya. And one of the greatest acts of nation building in our history, I believe, was the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. This sacred document contains the democratic dreams of Kenya that demand great sacrifices from many Kenyans, known and unknown. As President and your fellow citizen, I want to take this opportunity to give thanks to the gallant Kenyans who argued, advocated for, and suffered so that our Constitution would come alive. For decades, many heroes and heroines woke up wishing us a better Kenya, a strengthening of our democracy and our governance. And in 2010, When my predecessor lifted the new constitution high, all of us cheered and entered a new phase in the life of this great republic. But we knew then, as we know now, that no document is perfect and that time does not stand still. And that is the reason the framers of the Constitution gave us the ability to change it, but in a way that protects its core democratic character. The need for change of our Constitution has been with us for some time. It has been evident in the never-ending threat of post-election violence, in the growing feelings that its design lacks inclusivity, and that it promotes unfair and skewed representation and unfair distribution of national resources. So we need together to strengthen the 2010 Constitution. And I want to make it clear here that we're not talking about replacing a constitution. We're talking about amending a constitution. The first of many possible amendments that will come over a period of time as Kenyans change and evolve. And if we are to continue our decades-long journey in seeking to advance the well-being of all Kenyans, we must be a society that is willing and capable of adapting to change. So together with the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, we came to the realization of this fact when we held talks that led to a handshake in 2018. And because of the peace that has prevailed in this country since then, many Kenyans have forgotten what was happening at the time. Fellow Kenyans, truth be told, we were on the verge of a divisiveness that would have deeply undermined our continuity, our unity, and our peace. There were those reckless few who threatened the destruction of our nation, but they actually got a hearing from sections of the public that felt only drastic action could erase their frustrations. Fellow Kenyans, we have seen how many nations, some that we share borders with, have trodden that path and has led to their destruction and ruin. I can tell you honestly, as your president, who consumes first-hand information from a multitude of sources, if there had been no handshake, this country would have been brought to its knees. The reckless aggressiveness of some, the triumphant chest thumping and stonewalling by others, the handshake stabilized the country, and it has afforded us the opportunity to identify the practical reforms that would strengthen our unity, inclusivity, equity, and good governance. The Building Bridges initiative was basically a vehicle for us to have a national conversation. A conversation, fellow Kenyans, that lasted over 2 years. BBI provided an opportunity for Kenyans to say what was on their minds and to provide ideas that could be effected to solve Kenya's most intractable problems. Both the BBI Task Force and eventually the BBI Steering Committee listened to thousands of Kenyans from all walks of life in every one of our 47 counties, individual Kenyans, women groups, youth groups, persons living with disabilities, religious leaders, pastoral communities, trade unions, professional associations, county assemblies, members of parliament, various experts, a whole cross-section of Kenyans. And first, Kenyans expressed their views, which were collated and presented as what we term as the first BBI report that was released in November of 2019. Then Kenyans gave more views under BBI 2, which was meant to be a validation exercise to ascertain the views expressed in the first BBI and to establish whether these were actually the views Kenyans had shared. Unfortunately, with the onset of COVID-19, we were unable to release the report earlier, but eventually we had an opportunity not too long ago to review the contents of that second BBI. And as you know, more views emerged at this stage, and most of these views were publicly stated in various regional rallies and other fora. The validation report was then launched on October 26th, attracting many views and calls for such considered. And indeed, I am happy to say that these views have been considered, and I personally have met with several different groupings and individual Kenyans, and I truly believe that all their issues have been incorporated, as the referendum bill released today shall clearly indicate. So I am therefore confident that this process has been widely consultative and has captured the best of our ideas and ideals. And this is not the end of the process, because Kenyans will continue to express themselves and eventually make a choice on the fate of this referendum bill. But Kenyans, let me and allow me to highlight some of the points and gains in the referendum bill, particularly those raised by various interest groups. On the gender parity and participation question, something that has haunted and been unattainable in this country since the dawn of independence, this bill ensures that the women of Kenya will actively be involved in all levels of representation. Women leaders will now comprise 50% of all senators. This means that they will be directly involved and be in charge of determining how 35% of our national resources are spent in the counties. Additionally, within this document, there is a new mechanism for ensuring greater and meaningful participation of our women in the National Assembly. And we are doing this while retaining the affirmative orientation in appointive posts, which, as you know, has been instrumental in placing many Kenyan women in high positions in government. The drafters of this referendum bill also listened to the plight of PWDs and youths and have ensured that they are adequately represented in Parliament. Kenyans consistently expressed their view that there was an urgent need to strengthen devolution. And this referendum bill considers this point and proposes an increase of money available to counties. It also creates a ward development fund that will be a game changer by taking government money directly to the grassroots. And not only that, the bill before us also proposes a strengthened Senate that is able to oversight the counties more robustly, and it also requires county assemblies and the Senate to ensure greater accountability of the increased funds going to the counties. To ensure that every Kenyan enjoys the democracy that the 2010 Constitution so ably promised, the bill cures the problem of underrepresentation in some areas of the country and introduces a better approach for the sharing of resources more equitably and fairly while dealing with the issues of marginalization. Although the principle of public participation is already enshrined in our Constitution, participation has faced numerous challenges in the past. The BBI proposals will ensure greater public participation at all levels, from the ward to the constituency to the county, as well as to the national government. In the spirit of public participation embodied in the entire BBI process, where we are now, as has been indicated by the speakers before me, is that we now need to go out and collect signatures from Kenyans. This, fellow Kenyans, is in line with the tenets of democracy, whereby every single citizen is entitled to have their say. The process of staging a national referendum is the last exercise and validation of the issues articulated in the BBI report and the last stage in asking for the stamp of approval from Kenyans on the report's recommendations. This marks a mass validation of the proposed amendments as captured by the BBI Steering Committee. So as we embark on signature collection exercise, we recognize that the exercise of collecting signatures is a continuation of the democratic deliberation provided for in the Constitution. We once again take these proposals to you, Kenyans, requesting that you confirm and endorse these proposals. And to ensure informed decision-making by Kenyans, the bill will be made available through newspapers, while the BBI report is available through electronic and print formats, and include abridged and summarized versions to ensure everybody reads this particular bill. Finally, as again has been said by the speakers before me, I say that we are embarking on this exercise at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we are forging ahead not because we are careless, but because we consider this process as crucial to the positive future of our republic. BBI, fellow Kenyans, is a bridge to peace. It is a bridge to prosperity that every Kenyan today and in generations to come needs desperately. Let us make it clear during this process of collecting of signatures that all public health guidelines will be adhered to by all Kenyans, by all leaders, irrespective of anyone's social status, because even as we proceed, we must never forget that we are personally responsible for the well-being and health of each and every one of us. Kenyans are asking for these changes so that you can enjoy them, but you cannot enjoy them if you are dead from an avoidable and preventable disease. Therefore, walk into the town hall with confidence, because it is your civic duty to be a responsible citizen, but take all the necessary precautions. It is indeed my hope that Kenyans will overwhelmingly support this amendment bill and secure their futures and our future as a united country. Wenzangu, safari hii tulianza mbali. Na ningependa kuomba sana ya kwamba tusiwe watu ambao wanasahau haraka haraka alafu wanaenda kurudia makosa ambayo wameifanya. Wakenya wenzangu, hii bill ambayo iko mbele yetu, mwanzo wake ulikuwa kwa shida ambazo tulizipata baada ya uchaguzi wa mwaka wa 2017. Na tukaona ya kwamba hii ni shida ambaye kila wakati ambapo tuko na uchaguzi, badala ya kutoka kwa huo uchaguzi wa Kenya wakiwa pamoja, mara nyingi tuamaliza uchaguzi wa Kenya wakiwa wamegawanyika. Na mambo haya yametendeka katika taifa letu kurudi nyuma miaka mingi zaidi ya 20-25. Kuwa wengine wanajisikia ndio wenye serikali na wengine wanajiona ya kwamba wametengwa na serikali. Na mambo haya ndio inalete vurugu katika taifa letu. Na ndipo tulionelea mwaka wa 2017 mwisho na kuanza mwaka wa 2018, kwa kuona yale ambayo yalikuwa yanatendeka katika sehemu mbalimbali, Wakenya wakipigana na Wakenya wenzao, tukaamua pamoja na Mheshimiwa Raila ya kwamba yastahili kama viongozi tusikae toroka na akaambia watu wake wasipige kura. Basi sisi tukaendelea. Lakini ukweli wa mambo ni ya kwamba taifa letu tulikuwa tumegawanyika katikati. Kuna sehemu wengine hawangeweza kupita ati kwa sababu wewe ni wa chama hii, wewe ni wa chama ile. Na wakati tulikuja pamoja tukasema, this is not possible, this is not right. Hatutafuti uongozi ndio Wakenya wapigane, tunatafuta uongozi ndio tutafute utajiri wa taifa letu na Wakenya wetu waweze kuishi na amani na furaha na kwa umoja. Na hiyo ndio ilikuwa msingi wa ile kitu ambacho tunaita handshake leo. Na ndipo nimesema kwa hii ambaye nimesoma kwa lugha ya Kimombo hapa, ambapo nimesema ya kwamba tunasahau haraka sana. Kwa sababu ya ile amani ambaye tumekuwa naye miaka hii miwili, watu wanaona hiyo ni kama kawaida tu. Lakini sio kawaida. Na ndipo tukaamua lazima turekebishe haya. Na kwangu mimi hiyo haikuwa mara yangu ya kwanza ku reach out. Nime reach out hata mbeleni. Hata mwenzangu Deputy William Ruto, we reached out tukalete amani. Na ikakuwa na amani. Sasa ubaya uko wapi Wakenya wenzangu? Nikireach out pia kwa ndugu yangu ndio tuweze kuongeza hiyo amani. Na ndipo nasema ya kwamba wale ambao wanajaribu kuchimbua makaburi, nilisoma kwa gazeti juzi, wasifikiri wanacheza. Mimi siwezi kukubaliana na mambo kama haya. Tumetoka huko na mambo haya tumezika katika kaburi ya sahau. Kwa sababu ukijaribu kulete maneno hapa, wewe hujui ni shida gani. Anayo wengine hawafikiri. You don't think before you talk, you don't think before you act. You must always think before you do something. Sisi hatutaki vita katika taifa letu la Kenya. Sisi wengine wetu tunajua maana ya amani. Na sisi tunataka kurekebisha zile shida, na turekebishe kwa njia ya kikatiba, kwa njia ya kisheria, ndio Kenya isonge mbele na Wakenya wawe kitu kimoja. Hiyo ndio haja yetu kubwa. Sio kuja hapa kila siku kuambiwa hii na hii na hii. Let us be faithful to the peace, to the stability, to the unity of this nation. Na kuna mengi ambayo labda wengine wangependa kuwa wangependa iwe ndani ya hii amendment. Lakini Wakenya wenzangu, niwakumbushe, Kenya sio kama maisha ya binadamu. Sisi tukiwa binadamu, viumbe vya Mwenyezi Mungu, tunajua ya kwamba muda wetu huanza kuhesabiwa kutoka siku ile tulizaliwa. Na tunajua bado huo muda utafika. Kenya itaishi milele na milele na milele. And that is why we do some of the things that we do. Not for what we gain today, but what shall be there for our children and our children and our children's children in the future, because Kenya will be here forever. And our responsibility is to be architects of that future. That is our responsibility. And tomorrow, there will be those Kenyans who will be in positions of leadership, ambao watasema, unajua sasa tumekubaliana kitu ingine. Na watafanya amendment ingine. Na wengine watakuja, watafanya amendment ingine. Na ndipo tunasema katiba yu hai. Katiba sio vile tumeona nchi zingine, unasema kwa sababu imeandikwa kwa katiba, right? Hiyo ni kumaliza nchi. Unaona watu wanasema, unaona vile katiba inasema, kwa hivyo wewe nyamaza. Sasa kunyamaza na mtu anasema mimi niko na kitu ambayo inaniuma, na wewe unaniambia ni nyamaze ati kwa sababu imeandikwa. My friend, is that not a recipe for war? Right? That is a recipe for war. And we have seen it in other countries. Mwingine ana Brandes katiba ambaye ilichorwa miaka 100 iliyopita. Angalia katiba. Wewe nyamaza. Na ukiongea utaniona. Haya, na yeye atasema basi nitaongea. Na ukinikaribia wewe ndio utaona. That is the beginning of war. And that is why we say this document is alive. This document is supposed to treat the problems and the challenges that face us as a nation. Let us not take it as a divisive document. Let us not take it as a document that is going to contain all our issues. Because at different stages in a nation's history, in a nation's life, there will come others, and you will see Second Amendment, Third Amendment. I think in America, after 200 years now, they're on amendment namna gani, ndugu yangu? 37 amendments. All right? It will be the same with ours. It will be the same with ours, my friends. Right? What we are doing is just starting. And just starting with that is most critical. Dealing with the issues that make us consistently fight. The issues of inclusion and inclusivity. Dealing with the issues of ensuring equitable resources. Dealing with the issues of ensuring that money reaches the lowest level possible. Dealing with the issues of corruption and governance. These are the things that make people fight. These are the issues that we are dealing with at this stage. Fellow Kenyans, let's come together. Sort that out. Other chapters will be sorted out. Nikimalizia, kuna kipengele moja peke yake ambaye nimesema hapa ya kwamba nimesikiza wengi kutoka wajumbe, maseneta, viongozi mbali. Mimi siendi kwa magazeti, mimi nakutana na watu tu. Wewe sasa mimi sema. Niambie kwa sababu mimi sio mtu ya hiyo, hata Twitter mnaona na hiyo. Mimi niliondoka huko. Ngaona hii kitu ni bure, ni matusi tu. Hakuna kitu kingine inaendelea hapa. Right? Unakaa hapo unasoma hulali. Nini wanasema nini? Huyu sasa wewe unapiga simu, unaona vile huyu mtu amenituka. Afadhali nilale bwana. Niongee. Nipige story hapo na mama kidogo hapo. Nilale, niamke, niende kazi, dunia iendelee. Kama ni namna gani jamani? Lakini kwa wale wengi ambao nimeweza kupata nafasi ya kukutana nao na kudebate nao one on one, there was one group I met with ambao walisema kitu na mimi nikaona kwa kweli, hata kama katiba ya sasa imetuhakikishia hiyo, nikaona ni vizuri vile waliniambia turudie tena. Na hawa ni wenzetu viongozi wa kidini. Wakati nilikaa na wao, wakasema tunajua iko hapo, lakini hii document lazima isisitize tena umuhimu wa kumcha Mwenyezi Mungu na umuhimu na centrality ya Mungu katika taifa letu la Kenya. Na nataka niwashukuru kwa sababu nimeona wameongeza hapa kwa kusema, in embarking on this constitutional amendment process, the people of Kenya reaffirm their conviction in the words of the preamble of our Constitution, asserting the supremacy of the Almighty God in shaping the destiny of the nation. Na ndipo tuasema, Mungu ailinde taifa letu la Kenya. Mungu alinde vizazi vilivyo na vijavyo. Mungu atusaidie tuwe na amani, tuwe na umoja, tuwe na upendo kati yetu. Mungu asaidie taifa la Kenya iwe taifa ambalo litamiliki wananchi wake na prosperity ambaye itakuwa ya kushangaza hata dunia ambazo zimeendelea. Mungu atusaidie tuweze tuelewane, tuongee pamoja, tufanye yale ambayo yako mbele yetu kwa amani na kwa kujuliana hali, tukijua ya kwamba Kenya sio ya mtu. Kenya haina mwenyewe, ina wenyewe, na wenyewe ni wale vile nimesema wako na wale ambao watakuwa. Mungu awabariki, Mungu awalinde. Asanteni sana.
Kabla ya wimbo wa taifa, nitaomba studio kidogo. Nitaomba nimwalike Mheshimiwa Rais ili kuwezesha hii kazi kufanyika. Kuna wakuu wa vikanda 16 ambao Mheshimiwa Rais kwa heshima nitaomba utawakabidhi vitabu hivi wanapoondoka ili waelekee na kazi. Kutoka mambo wa Pwani, Mwalimu Makarani, tafadhali. Mheshimiwa Rais kwa ruhusa nitakuomba tu jiongee chini tafadhali. Thank you sir. Lower Eastern, Kala Musyoka. Mount Kenya East, Honorable Lenny Kivuti, Mutuma Nkanata. North Eastern, Jibri Maalim na Honorable Abdullahi Derie. Western, Honorable Nabi Nabuera. South Rift, Honorable Paul Sang. Turukana, Miss Violet Chesang. Na Nabui Paul, Turukana, pamoja na Miss Beatrice Askul, Turukana. Nyanza, Bob Madanji.